So, you finally bought the Isle Legacy, and finally started to crawl down the rabbit hole that is this addicting game. And you ask yourself, how do I survive? Well, first you need to grow to adult. In this video, I will show you the safest and most rewarding places to grow your dinosaur, both carnivore and herbivore on the Isle V3 map. I will list the servers in order from least risk to greatest risk, both in terms of location and player visitation frequency. If you want to skip to a certain location, you can check out the different chapters offered in this video. In order to navigate V3, you need to use an outside source called Vulnona, as there is not an in-game map. You can find this by searching Isle Vulnona, and the link should pop up. This website offers all the maps for the Isle, both Legacy and Ivrima. To find out where you are, you copy your in-game coordinates found under your character selection menu by simply clicking on them. You can access this menu by pressing Insert or by pressing ESC and then navigating down to Character. Once you have your coordinates copied, you can simply paste them into this bar here on Vulnona and it will show your location. First up is Dump, otherwise known as Dump's Bog. This location is relatively quiet, only a couple of people come here. It is located in the northern side of the map to the east of Twins. Most of the time, people come to this location to grow like you may have, but rarely people will come here to heal and wait out the night away from the hotspot, Twins. Getting to this location isn't too difficult, and once you are grown, you can immediately visit a hotspot for PvP once you are adult. Use the cover around the river to drink safely and find a tree to grow away. Next up is Splash, my personal favorite spot to grow out of every single option on this list. It is a very secluded spot and has a really pretty view of the biggest lake on the map, Titan. Typically a lot of herbivores will grow here, but also carnivores due to its good AI spawn locations and its low visitation frequency. I always grow in the same spot while at Splash. It is a bundle of trees surrounded by giant rocks. It provides cover and a good view. Although, this spot on the map is pretty far away from most Juvi spawn locations, so be prepared to make a long trek if this is your chosen spot to grow. Third on this list is a very secluded spot that very few players visit, with a secret growing location only a handful of players know about. In this pocket of the ravine far below Dump is a waterfall that you can sit behind and hide your entire body. At most, I have managed to hide full adult gigas behind this waterfall if I ever needed to AFK safely. Plus, you don't need to leave the waterfall to drink. You can drink behind the waterfall. Only downside is you are surrounded by walls on two sides, essentially trapping yourself, and you have to go up the right wall to access the AI spawns. Other than that, this spot is really OP. Fourth on this list is Central Lake. It is a medium-sized lake located almost in the center of the map. It is also surrounded by swamps that almost no players go to, so this location is typically untouched by players unless they are passing through to travel across the map to get to eastern hotspots. It is also easy to access as it is right off the edge of the beach. The lake is large enough to reduce the bad tree cover while drinking. You'll have plenty of areas to get water without people being near. Although there are few pine trees, which offer the best cover to hide in, so hide deep in the trees. There is also a tall rock area that Utahs could use to grow or AFK safely. Next up is Murky Pond. This area is right outside of the hotspot Hidden, which is almost always occupied by a herd or nesting players. So, once you are adult, you can travel from Murky to Hidden to hunt. This area does have player traffic, but most of the time it is by other Juvies, rarely adults. Typically, only when you get an eastern Juvi spawn will you travel to this spot, as it is very far from the beach. Another downside to this spot is that it has very little tree cover around the lake, so you cannot hide while drinking. Although, if you would prefer to see your enemy approaching from much further away, then this is the spot for you. Fifth on the list of locations is Ocean Falls, otherwise referred to as Northernmost. This region used to be a herd hotspot way back in the earlier days of the Isle Legacy. Now, though, this spot is rarely visited as it is very far from most hotspots. Although, if you are looking for an area with a lot of access to water and good visuals very far around you, this is a good spot for you. This area has a dam, which is very pretty to look off of and is relaxing to listen to. Sixth option on the list is Estuary Weir, otherwise known as Ocean Gate. This location has no player traffic. I have yet to ever run into another player in this spot. This is most likely due to how far away it is from most Juvi spawn locations. But if you are looking for an area where you will not have to compete for AI and are likely to never run into another player, then this spot takes the cake. The visuals here are very pretty, and there are a ton of places to hide, both inside the canyon and out past the dam. The downsides of this spot are that you have to drink in the canyon, which can leave you exposed if you are growing in the pine trees below the dam. And the only hotspot that is close to you is Great Falls, which can take some walking to get to. Seventh option available is Radio Tower, an iconic beacon used for traversing the map visually. This area has a great overview of the beach and the hotspot twins. It is also hard to get access to without being seen if you decide to camp the outer edge of the mountainside. This area does have player visitation, but it is uncommon. The most frequent apex to visit this spot is Giga. Other apexes typically do not travel here. The human structures here not only provide cover with both a fence and buildings, but the tree cover is also very thick and great for hiding in. If you are looking for an exciting place to grow with good visuals and cover, this is a great spot. The greatest plus of the spot is the valley below the tower, which harbors some of the greatest amount of herbivore bushes in one location. So this region is great for growing herbivores. Next up is Sinkhole, also known as Crater by older players. You will always hear this location before you see it, so it is very easy to find. This location is also situated right off of the beach a couple minutes away from the hotspot twins, so it is a very easily accessible spot for Juvies wanting to grow. The tree cover around the region is medium, so hide deep in the forest when you are going to AFK. Drinking from this spot is similar to Murky and depends on player preference. Some may prefer to see their enemy approaching from very far away and have time to react, while others would prefer cover. Although, if you are looking for an easy spot to get to, then this spot is great. Biggest downside is the player traffic. Sinkhole is visited very frequently by adults and Juvies alike, so your chances of being seen are much higher here. The ninth option out of these growing locations is Cargo Pond, also known as Pride Rock due to the iconic Lion King rock reference jutting out above the pond. This little pool is surrounded by thick birch and pine trees, and it is located underneath the radio tower and the Herbi bush hotspot. If you are a player who likes to have good cover while drinking, then this is the area for you. Although, due to its proximity to twins, this location is visited frequently by adults, so your chances of being discovered are very high here if you do not hide well. Although, if you are looking to hunt other Juvies for food, then this is a great spot, as it is a Juvi hotspot on the map for growing. It is also easily accessible due to its close proximity with the beach, which holds the most numerous Juvi spawn locations. The final option on this list is Gulf Pond, the most popular Juvi growing location on the entire V3 map. This area would typically always have a lot of players, especially Juvies. If you are wanting to hunt other Juvies, then you are most likely going to find them here. Getting to this spot is also very easy, as it is situated right off of the beach and you will normally hear the waterfall before you even reach it. There is also a lot of tree cover in this area and many spots where you can access the water without being seen due to the various cliffs. Although, do be warned, Gulf Pond is also somewhat of a hotspot on V3, so you are likely to run into adults in this location. I recommend only growing your Juvi here. Grow your sub-adult, if you have that stage, in a more secluded region.